Good morning. We're in from the garden. We got a pile of okra. We got some patio baby eggplants and the bean plants. The Asian long beans, the green ones that I have growing on the one arch that I've been trying to let them go to seed. Um, they're still trying to produce stuff for me. They're ugly, but they produced them. And so I went ahead and picked these, but the big ones I have growing that I'm letting go to seed are still out there hanging. But I went ahead and picked all this because bird pressure and bug pressure, garden pests, are really hitting hard right now. But all this looks good, but grow some okra. Look at this. I mean, if every morning you pick a pound of okra from your front yard and then maybe more from your backyard, and these are gardens in raised beds, doing good. If you get all this okra, you're like got a lot of food to eat, and eggplant on top of it, and then green beans are so good for us. But yeah, this is what the front garden produced, and I got it all watered, and I pulled weeds and whatnot. But look, I'm gonna tell y'all, have y'all ever made pickled eggs, like pressure can pickled eggs? They're really good. These look ugly because I had trouble getting them out of the jar, but I made these. I've been making pickled eggs for years. I love pickled eggs, which is crazy. But I used the pickling brine and everything, but I strained it this time. And so they came out really clean and no pickling debris. I like them either way. But with this one, I used like a dill flavor with sweet and vinegary and processed them. And I process them in the pressure canner, uh, but using it as a water bath canner. I've since now got I've got the big water bath canner pot, and then I've also got a nifty little pot that I can do individual jars. It's actually called an asparagus pot. Let me get it down and see if I can show it to y'all. Hold on. Y'all stay with me. I gotta do some interesting stuff. Set my phone down. I'm still here. Well, shoot. Okay. I can't get it down off the shelf without getting my ladder, and I'm not going to do all that, but I can take you over there and give you a glance of it. Just hold on. I got to cover the screen because somebody's in the kitchen. They don't want to be on camera. Hold on. There it is, right there. You can see compared to my steam canner the size of it. But okay, let me go back over here. But it's tall and deep, and it is perfect to individually pressure can, like small batch, one or two, one jar, like a quart size or a pint jar, without having to heat up and fill the huge pot. You can do a quart of pickled eggs in it real easy. Or you can just use your pressure canner with water in it and not seal the lid. It works too. But I'm going to tell you, pickled eggs are good. Just use seasoning you like, and it's a good way to get your protein pellets without it just being bland boiled eggs. And I do water bath can it so that it's shelf stable. I know that is not an approved method. It is not. Be safe. Pressure can your eggs and put them in the fridge. I personally have been eating pickled eggs all my life that were shelf stable until you open them and then you put them in the fridge and eat out of that jar. That's what I've always done. But it's apparently a big no-no, and so you don't want to get sick. I have never gotten sick from eating pickled eggs. whether I cooked them or I bought them from a gas station in a giant bucket on the countertop. um, but yeah, try some pickled eggs. The considered safe way to do it is to boil your eggs, shell your eggs, make your brine, put your eggs in your jar, put your brine in your jar, and then water bath can it, and then put them in the refrigerator. And they're good for 6 months doing the approved method. What I do is I make my brine, boil my eggs, shell my eggs, stuff my jars with the eggs, and then put the brine on it, whether you strain it or just pour it straight in with all the bits and bobs in it. And then I process it water bath can style. The lid's sealed, the vinegar's in there. I wash the jars just like you do anything else you can, and put them on the shelf in a cool location. And then as I use them, when I open the jar, I take out what I want, and then I put the rest in the refrigerator. That's what I do. Don't do what I do. Do it the approved way. 6 months, whatever. But what I found is nifty is that at the produce terminal, yeah, I'm going to talk about it again because y'all got to find one near you. I know they have them. At the produce terminal, I can get a 15 dozen case of eggs. And that's extra large eggs or medium ones. It just depends on which ones they have and how cheap they are. I've gotten them when the 15 dozen was $12. I've gotten them, the highest I've ever paid is $24. That's still not a bad price. So 15 dozen eggs, I'm not talking about 1 or 2 dozen, we're talking 15 dozen. And so like I'll take an afternoon and I'll process them all. And you can do different flavors of brine and whatnot, what you like. You make them spicy, you can make them sweet and spicy, you can go heavy on the dill or rosemary, whatever flavor you like, you can put into that jar pretty much. I wouldn't put fruit in it, but you never, yeah. Anyway, I like them. It's a cheap, if you have a produce terminal or if you have a place where you can get eggs super cheap, you know, here you go. Here's a way to preserve them. If you do it the approved way, you got 6 months on them in the refrigerator if you've got room in your fridge. I don't always have room in my fridge. It's normally got other foods or whatever going on. But yeah, if you want to give it a shot, just go online. You can find different, on YouTube, you can find different recipes and follow the exact canning methods and whatnot. But yeah, pickled eggs. And you can make them as spicy as you want or as weak as you want. The only thing that must stay consistent is vinegar. You have got to have the vinegar. I don't care if you use regular white vinegar or if you use apple cider vinegar or whatever, but you have got to stay consistent and use that vinegar because that's what preserves them. The vinegar and salt in them. Now, a lot of people swear up and down that salt does not add to the preservation of food. And I'm going to tell you, I believe it does. I believe you've got to have salt in certain things that you water bath can. Just my opinion. You got to learn it and do it the way you want to do it. But yeah, you get, and they're not super hard or rubbery. If you over process them, they will be super hard. Not super hard, but they'll be like rubberier. I don't care. I would chop that up and put it in a egg salad or on a salad I'm eating, and it gives it a pickle flavor, whatever. But yeah, try that if you want to. I just think it's a great way if you have a location where you can get very affordable eggs. I do not have chickens. I wish I could have chickens, but I have no desire for my dogs to get off in a chicken coop. And my dogs are very stupid, and at the same time, they are brilliant. And you'll think that you have it so they cannot get in there. And my one dog, Kiki, she'll figure it out. So I am not even about to mess with chickens. Now, later on down the line, when I move, my plan is to eventually move closer to where my daughter is. Like, I don't want to be right up next to her, but I would like to be about 20 minutes from her, 30 minutes from her, instead of an hour and a half. And look, it's a burgundy. But maybe eventually, when I have a bigger yard or bigger area to fix up, maybe we can do a chicken coop. But I don't want to deal with dying chickens or pasty butts or broody butts or whatever they call them. I'm going to tell you, I'll do a lot, but I will not mess with too much. I got enough of that with my dogs and my husband. He's old. But, you know, you do what you got to do. But I don't want to put in chickens. I would love all the eggs, but I can go buy them right now. And that's why I try to preserve them. And I probably will pressure can, not pressure can, water bath can and pickle 15 dozen. And that'll last me quite a while. I mean, because I'm pretty much, well, no, other people eat them, but I'm going to make them. And then just, you know, every couple of weeks, open a jar and have them in the fridge. They stay good. But you have to like pickled stuff to do that, I think. But you can add sweet to it. You can add spicy to it. I'm going to get off on a pickled egg tangent, I guess, today. But anyway, try to water bath can some pickled eggs. If you're worried about them being shelf stable, put them in the fridge. But at least you know. Some people make them and then just put a loose, not airtight lid on it. You know, like a plastic lid, and they stick it in their fridge. Well, I like to do the water bath canning with the flats and the bands, and really have that water bath can seal, because I feel like that it infuses whatever you're pickling better, faster. Does that make sense? But you can do it either way. Just, that's your decision, not an approved method. I'm not telling you to. Give it a try. And wow, it's already been 13 minutes. I got to get off of here and go see what's going on in the backyard. Have a good morning, y'all.